Good day, senior high icons. Welcome to our last meeting for English 300 subject. And for today, we will be dealing with 3 topics. The first one would be business correspondence or business letter. We will also discuss resume or curriculum vitae, and we will be discussing the concept paper. So let us now start. So when we say business correspondence, that is also known as business letter. This is a kind of letter which serves as a form of communication or as a tool for the business industries to communicate with one another. So I will now be introducing the kinds of business letter or business correspondence. So it includes letter of inquiry, reply letter, sales letter, letter of order, adjustment letter, application letter, recommendation letter, and resignation letter. So let me start off with letter of inquiry. When we say letter of inquiry, that is a type of business letter which purpose is to get information or to get an answer to your certain question. So let us say that you are interested to invest on a certain project and you have lots of concerns or questions. Therefore, you can make this letter of inquiry and send it to the management for them to be able to know and properly address the questions that you have with regards to the offer that they are offering. Next, we have the reply letter. When we say reply letter, that is a type of business letter in which it answers the questions written on the letter of inquiry. So, this kind of letter is commonly done by the business owner or the management itself to answer the questions thrown or written by the customers or the expected buyers or expected stakeholders of the company. Next, we have the sales letter. From the term sales, it is a type of business letter which is written to promote a product or a service. So let's say, for example, that you are going to commercialize your new business. Therefore, you will be making a sales letter to inform your future consumers about the product. So you will write there the information about your product or the services that you are going to provide. So if they are interested with your service, then they can just contact you. Next, we have the letter of order. From the term order, this is a type of business letter which is written if you are planning to buy something or to purchase a service or to avail a service from a certain company. So let us say that you are interested to purchase a service or a product, then you can just send a letter of order to the business owner or to the company itself for them to be able to know and note the orders that you want to avail. If you are running a business, it is just normal that you will have comments and complaints from your customers. So that letter, which includes those comments and complaints from them, is called the adjustment letter. Next, we have the application letter. This is a type of business letter which is written for the purpose of applying for a certain job. This is different from that of a resume. So it always contains additional information about the applicant, something that is not included in your resume. So it always comes with a resume because it will give a hint or an idea to the interviewer or to the HR manager with regards to the position that you are trying to apply and with regards to the additional skills that you possess which are not included in your resume. Now let us move on to recommendation letter. When we say recommendation letter, that is a type of business letter which is written for the purpose of suggesting an applicant's good character. This letter is commonly done by the previous employer of an applicant. So let's say you want to apply for a new job. So you will be getting a recommendation letter from your previous job. This recommendation letter is only given for those who have previous employers. If you are a new hire, if you are a new time employee, then you will not have this recommendation letter. All you have are the references who could prove your good character. Next, we have the last one, and that is resignation letter. This is actually the most common type of business letter that I'm sure you all know, because this is a type of business letter which is written to leave a position or a company. If you are tired and you don't want to be in that company anymore, then you can resign formally and write this resignation letter. So we are now going to discuss the parts of a business correspondence. So we have the heading, the letterhead, the dateline, the inside address, the salutation, the body of the letter, the complimentary clause, and the signature blank. Whatever type of business correspondence or business letter you have chosen, you still need to follow this format, okay? So let us start off with the heading. When we say heading, that should be put on top of the letter. So it contains the address of the sender. So let's say that you are the sender of the letter. So on top, you will be writing your address, complete address, okay? So you will write down, let's say, Kilometer 38, Pulong Buhangin, Santa Maria, Bulacan. So that is the heading. That is your address. Next, we will have the letterhead. For letterhead, it contains the name of the company, address of the company, contact number, and the email address of the company. This is the company on which that person is working for. So, let us say that the name of the company is Immaculate Conception Polytechnic. The address is Marian Road, Santa Maria, Bulacan. The contact number is 094354 blah 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 blah. And the email address is Immaculate Conception Polytechnic at gmail.com. So let us say that those information are real. That is the second part of the business correspondence. Next, we have the dateline. Of course, from term dateline, that is where you are going to put the date in which you have written the letter. It should be the complete date, not just the numbers. So you will put November 25, 2020. So that's the dateline. Next, we have the inside address. Don't be confused with regards to the letterhead and the inside address, okay? So when we say inside address, that contains the name, the position, the company's name, and the address of the receiver. So you might be confused. Why is there a letterhead and why is there an inside address? Okay, because inside the company, there is a certain person who would really read your letter. Not everyone in the company will read your letter. So let's say that the receiver of your message is the HR manager of the school. So the name should be Miss Christine Hannah Garingo. The position is HR manager. The company's name, of course, is Immaculate Conception Polytechnic. And the address here refers to the office in which she could be found. So the office is on the administrative's office. Again, letterhead is for the address of the company itself on which that person is working for. The inside address is for the recipient of the message itself. Clear? Next, we have the salutation. The salutation serves as the greetings. So we commonly use Miss Garingo, comma, or to Professor Marcelo, comma. So that is salutation. And then we will have the body of the letter. We all know this. It contains your message. What do you want to say? Of course, you will write down your message to the company. Whether you want to apply for a job, you want to resign for the job, or you want to quit for the job, then you will write it down on the body. That's your purpose. Next, we have the complimentary clause, words of courtesy at the end of the letter. So here you will be writing, sincerely yours, yours truly, respectfully yours. So those words or those complimentary clause are more formal. Next, we have the signature block. From the term signature, you will be writing down your full name in capital and you will be putting your signature on top. So for you to familiarize a business letter, I'm going to show you the format that we are using for the business letter. And for a business letter, actually, we are using the full block style. It means that you are not going to put any indentions. So you will just put it on the left side. So first is the heading, which includes the address of the sender. Next, we have the company address, and that is on the letterhead. So it includes the company's name, the company's address, the company's phone number, and the company's email address if available. Next, we have the date line, the date on which you have written the letter. Next, we have the inside address or the person who will be receiving your letter. So we have here Mr. John Doe, the position, customer service representative, the name of the company, same as the letterhead. Next, we have the office on which that person could be found. Next, we have the salutation. In here, you will be writing, Dear Mr. Doe. You may also put comma instead of colon. So you may write to Mr. Doe, whatever you prefer. Next, we have here the body. In here, you will be writing your message. This is actually an example of an adjustment letter because he has written his comments, his concerns about the purchase that he had. Next, we have here, this is what we mean by the complimentary clause. So, sincerely yours, respectfully yours, sincerely, respectfully, whatever you prefer. And then next, we have here on the last part is the signature block. So, you will be writing down your name, the name of the writer. Next, we have to put the signature, and if you are working in a certain company, you could also put your position and the name of the company that you are working for. So that is how you will be writing a business letter. I hope that it's already clear for you, so we can move to the next topic. So now we are going to discuss the types of an application letter, and we actually have two. The first one is the solicited application letter. The solicited application letter is written if you are answering an advertisement or if you are interested to apply for a certain position that you have read online or on a newspaper. So for the solicited application letter, you are sure that there is hiring on that certain job or on that certain position. So for unsolicited application letter, you are not sure if the company is hiring or not. There is no assurance that you will be called or that you will be interviewed because they are not hiring. You are just giving it a try. So just like what I have previously mentioned, an application letter always comes with a resume sheet. So it is very dependent to a resume. Unlike resume, it can stand alone. You can just simply pass the resume without an application letter, but you cannot pass an application letter without a resume. Having said that, we are now going to discuss resume or curriculum vitae. So a resume or a curriculum vitae is a summary of the applicant's qualifications. So it includes his or her educational background, his or her work experiences, his skills, his or her awards or accomplishments, and other informations available or needed on a certain job. But why do we need to have a resume, especially when we are applying? So we have these three purposes. The first one, it serves as our record. So everything that the company needs is already included in our resume and in our application letter. Next, we have to catch the interest of your employer. Of course, if you are going to write a resume, you will be writing all of the skills, all of the positive attributes that you have. So it would surely catch the interest of your employer. Next, to save time. Because if your employer already knows or already have an idea about you, then he or she will no longer ask you those questions. So that would save time and you will just directly proceed with questions that are needed for the jobs. Just like business correspondence, resume also have different types. So let us discuss them one by one. So the first one is a chronological resume. From the term chronological, it is in order. So that refers to the list of your qualifications from your most recent qualification up to the first job that you have. Chronological resume is only applicable for those who have lots of work experiences. So if you are a person who have lots of previous jobs, then you can write it down. The disadvantage of using this, especially if you are a type of employee who's not staying on the job for a long time, or whose job experiences only last for 1 month, 2 months, it would give a negative impact to the interviewee because they might think that you would only last 1 to 2 months. So that could be a disadvantage of having this chronological resume. However, the advantage of this one is that they would know that you are already competent and that you have enough experiences needed for the next we have the functional resume. This is very applicable for those who are fresh graduates and those who don't have enough experience, because you will just only focus on the skills and the strength that you have as an employee or as an applicant. So there you will be putting if you are good in communication skills, leadership skills, if you are capable to handle stress and you can work under pressure, so you will write it down. This is somehow disadvantageous in the sense that most of the companies nowadays are looking for those who have enough experience. And if you will just be putting the skills and the strength that you have, then your employer might think that you are lacking with qualifications that they needed. So next we have combination resume. This includes both features of the targeted and the functional type. You can write down all the work experiences that you have. At the same time, you can write down and include all the skills that you acquire or that you have as an applicant. This is actually the most commonly used type of resume by the applicants nowadays because it could really catch the attention and interest of the employer. Lastly, we have the targeted resume. From the term target, you already have a certain position in mind that you want to apply for. And so, you would highlight the position itself. So for the first 3, you may not specify the position that you are trying to apply for. But for this targeted resume, you have to be specific. So the disadvantage of this targeted resume is that if they have already enough people for that certain position, they will not get you. So for our last topic, we will be dealing with the concept paper. So when we say concept paper, that is a type of writing in which you pass this before the actual project proposal. So let's say that you want to present a certain project, then you have to pass a concept paper first. So let us say that you are planning to present a project or to present a business, then you are entitled to pass a concept paper for your audience to know or to have an idea of what the project is all about. So what are the importance of having this concept paper? So we have these advantages. The first one is that it gives an overview of the project. So through this concept paper, your reader or your viewer will have an idea of what the project is all about. Next, it will help them to identify if the project could be approved or not. Because in your project, you will be putting all the costs, all the advantages and disadvantages of your project, of the possible materials that you will be using. So there, your prospective clients would have an idea whether to give you a budget or to approve your project or not to approve it. Next, we have here, it could state the benefits of the proposed project. Since you will be providing the overview or the idea for the project, you will be providing what is it all about, then you could state there the reason why the client should approve it. So you will be putting the benefits and the advantages of approving the project. Next, this could also help you identify the possible things or the possible areas that should be improved in your project. So when we are explaining a concept in a concept paper, there are two ways that we can use. So it includes the definition and the explication. So what are those? Let me explain it further. So when we say definition, you are giving the meaning of a certain term. So we have two ways of providing a meaning to that certain word or to that certain concept. So the first one is the informal definition. When we say informal definition, that is a brief explanation and definition of a certain term. So let's say you will be asked who is Ariel, then you will just simply say Ariel is a girl, and that's informal definition. The second type of definition is the extended definition. This is the detailed way of explaining a concept or a term. So for this one, you are using Google, you are researching, you are using the dictionary to provide a detailed meaning or a detailed explanation of a certain term or concept. Now for the second one, we have explication. So aside from definition, we also have explication. When we say explication, you are explaining the term using the different passages, the different sentences, the different verses or quotes that could provide a deeper understanding or a deeper meaning of a concept or a term. So for this one, you will not just simply focusing on that certain concept. You could also provide examples or explanations, further evidences to have a clear explanation and definition of a concept. Now let us proceed with the parts of the concept paper. So we have here the cover page, the objectives, the introduction, the beneficiaries of the project needs and costs, and the references. For the first page, which is the cover page, that is the first part that you will be seeing on the concept paper, in which you will be writing down the name of the project or the name of the business that you want to propose, and then the name of the proponents or the name of the individuals who are involved in that certain project or in that certain business. Next, we have the objectives. This is the second part of your concept paper, in which you will be writing your reasons. You will be writing and including the expectations that you have when it comes to this business. So we make sure that we are providing at least 3 objectives. Just like a lesson, you are providing or presenting objectives that you want your students to acquire at the end of the lesson. So that is similar to how a concept paper should look like. Next, we have the introduction. So the introduction is the third part of your concept paper, in which you will be introducing your business. You will be introducing your product. So for this one, you will be writing the background of the product, why you have come up with that kind of name for your product, what are the things that you would use, or how are you going to commercialize your product, what are the strategies that you will be using, who are your expected clients. So those should be included in the introduction. You will provide an overview of your product. So the next page would be the beneficiaries. So for the beneficiaries, you will be putting the target customers that you have for your business. So you will write down whoever your target customers or consumers, and then you will be writing down the things that will benefit them, or what are the things that they could possibly get from having your business or with your business. You should also include the location on which you are going to put your business or your stall, and then you're going to explain how your business could benefit your consumer. Next, we have the project needs and cost. For the project needs and cost, it should look like this one. So This would include the materials or the equipments that we needed for your business or for your product, and then the estimated cost. So this is very beneficial for the client to see if it's attainable or if your project is worth their money. And the last page should include the references or your sources of information. Anything that helped you to come up with those kind of information, with those kind of supporting details and ideas. So you may use the APA style that we have discussed for these references. So there we go. That would be all for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you have learned something. If you have any questions with regards to the concept paper, the resume, and the business correspondence, just feel free to ask me. I know it took longer than our previous lessons, but I hope and I'm really hoping that you have learned something for today. This will be our last discussion, so thank you so much for listening and for continuously participating in our discussion. See you all next meeting. Good luck with your examination next meeting, and thank you so much. Have a great day and God bless.